So, who was your client and what did you create?
Bill was our client, and we created a box so he is able to get into his car.
Okay. And what was the most meaningful work that you've done in the class?
Probably this project.
And why was it meaningful to you?
Well, we all grew together. We helped each other just through personal struggles over the course of like the 6 months we did this. And we were able to help a patient or a client who this happened out of nowhere. I mean, his life changed in a matter of seconds. And just seeing the relief on his face after, like, you know, he could get into the car like a lot better, and he thought this is going to be easier, even without trying it, was really nice.
Okay, good.
I would say, I would go off of what Abby said, because like, if one of us had an issue, like one of our other team members would help us push through it. Like, it's okay, like take a deep breath, like try it again, you know. We helped each other out a lot, and just seeing Bill's face at the end of the project when we brought it in and he got to stand on it and, you know, see it, it's like.
Okay, good. How would you say you've been successful in the class?
Just like growing personally, like I grew so much with time management and just communication, teamwork. I'm a perfectionist. I like to do things the way I do things, and I don't like anybody else doing them. So when like things didn't like happen the way I envisioned it, I kind of just had to realize that I had to get over it because it was for the better.
Just learning to collaborate.
Yeah, I liked the communication part of, I'm not good with communication. I'm not good with telling people when I have an issue. I like to just shove it away and
Ignore it
never
like it didn't
talk about
happen.
it again.
Like bottle it.
But like, it's nice because they want your feedback and they want to know what you're thinking and they want to know your ideas. So it's nice because, you know, I feel like you can tell anyone your idea and they won't necessarily shut it down. But if it's a bad idea, they definitely give you feedback on it to try to improve it.
Yeah, nobody has ever said like you're stupid. Like,
Yeah, like they
things like
never.
that.
They never.
Well, and I
put
don't
you
think
down.
anybody, I think that if that's one thing you've learned, it's like everybody has something to give. You might not take the whole idea, but as a whole group, you're better than a part,
Yeah.
right? A part is only one, but 3 brains is always better than one
Like,
brain.
We would separate on like certain little things, and then watching it all come together was like,
It's like wow.
it was so crazy.
Yeah,
But
and that
having,
is
like,
good. I mean, that's a good way to put it, that you still have to do some little things independently, but you always still have to seek out that feedback to make sure that the whole comes together,
Yeah, and
right?
say you guys like weren't agreeing that day, like at all on anything. You just work on your little things, and then the next day you come back, shake everything off, and you would take in each other's feedback on that like one thing you were struggling over, and everything just turned
Good.
out fine.
What did you learn about, is one thing you learned about yourself that you know you will take forward into like college or career or whatever you choose to do? So even if you're gonna just go work in the workforce, what is one thing that you know that you've learned this year that you know you can use in the future?
I would say time management, definitely, because my junior year, sophomore year, freshman year, I was horrible at turning things and I was horrible at deadlines. Like, don't give me one because I'm going to turn it in a week late. So being at the tech center, especially only for 2 days, it's nice because you have a deadline and you have to cram so much stuff into one time, and you know we're only here for 2.5 hours a day, so that's 5 hours a week, and we'd cram like so much stuff into those 5 hours, and it really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, it is a disadvantage having like 2 days and then 5 days away,
Right.
and then it's so hard. That is so
Right.
hard. So I mean, I think it's
Like
an
the whole,
accomplishment
like,
that we all
communication
survived.
thing, too, like people getting COVID, having to quarantine. That
Right,
was crazy.
right. Then there was the whole thing that you weren't always expected to have all of you at once. Yeah.
Right.
Mine
Okay.
would definitely be time management, just because I am a huge procrastinator. Like last year in Allied Health, in your class, I'd procrastinate on almost every single project.
To the last minute.
Yes, you always saw me last minute.
But it's hard to procrastinate in this work, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
It very-
impossible
well-
because you can't come up with a prototype and then try to build it and then hope you don't fail. Like, you gotta put your all into it because this is for a person who is going through very
Like real life,
difficult
Mhm.
struggles.
real life situations. It's
Mhm.
not a game or, you know.
So that kind of leads to my last question, which is, did it make a difference because you were designing something for someone
Yeah,
with a
absolutely,
purpose,
100%.
instead of just for me and a project for whatever, or senior project? Did it make a difference?
Well, I feel like if you just do a typical senior project for a grade, it's just like, oh, I can, you know, do the bare minimum and get a C and pass, you know, whatever. When you're doing it for someone who actually needs help and like needs it now, it's just like I gotta give this 110% of my time right now because somebody important needs it.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, we all have terrible senioritis, right?
I know.
From COVID and everything, we all have the worst senioritis. And, like, I probably would have done that. I would have procrastinated till the last minute, turned in my bare minimum that I needed to do, or I would have stressed and did it all. But anyway, like, this is for a person who had a stroke during the midst of COVID, was struggling for, 90 days in the hospital, and he just seemed like hopeless when we first met him. Like, he had hope once he saw us, but he was struggling, and you
He
could
was
see that
defeated,
just-
right,
you
with
could
his
just see
function.
it in
He
his
couldn't-
face.
Yeah.
Like, he was in pain, he was struggling. I mean, I can't imagine the like depression he goes through just knowing like I can't move this side of my body anymore, I can't walk, I can't do any of this. And to like do something meaningful for someone like that pushes you way harder. I mean, it was
Than that
crazy.
regular old project,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Good. All right, ladies, anything you want to add? It's been a really nice to have you for 2 years, nice to have you for 1 year, but I mean, good luck in whatever you choose to do, because you'll both do big things, okay?
Well, that's really funny. I was sick on being a like health student. You want to know what this class made me think of? Architecture, like my mom did.
Oh, yeah, because it's that design.
Yes, isn't that crazy?